Hello everybody, it's B back again with another, well, not another, the first Transformers review in my series, B's Bot Bonanza, Series 1, Episode 1. We're going to be talking about Earthrise Optimus Prime. And yeah, as with everything on this video series, it's all just based upon solely my opinion. And yes, I'm putting a spin on it from other sort of reviews by attributing points to it, but it does not mean in any way that I am claiming that I am the be-all and end-all of this, and it's nothing more than a bit of fun and a way so that at the end of every series and at the end of every couple of series we can have a numerical comparison of scores for every toy to be able to then see, what the crack is, basically. So, I suppose kicking off with Earthrise Optimus Prime is maybe a bit of a boring choice for some. I know that everybody either has this toy already, or knows about this toy already, or has seen about this toy already, but it's the perfect example of an okay one to start with, because it will help give context to some of my scores and such, and then also will allow me to start it with a benchmark that everybody knows, because I feel like there's no point in me starting with some random obscure one that nobody else has experience with, because then it'll not be a good comparison. So Earthrise Optimus Prime is a good benchmark. And sorry, I know he's lower than this, but instead of moving the camera up and down all the time, I'm just going to Ashen style lift him into view when needed, and that he also falls apart a lot. For part one of this review, the marking of the alt mode, I think that in terms of the truck, I think he's very stoic, heroic, chunky, bricky truck. But at the end of the day, it's just a truck, it's nothing too fancy or outlandish. It's just a truck. It's a good truck, but it's just a truck. So I think out of 10, I can only really give him 7, just because I know that there's some other Transformers that I have that have more interesting alternate modes and stuff. And yes, the trailer does add to it, because when you see them together, you're like, hell yeah, that's Optimus Prime, that's Battle Convoy. But again, it's just a truck and a trailer, and yes, you can roll them about, and that's it. So 7 out of 10 for that. On the second point, I think he rolls well, all the wheels work well. I think the overall vibe is quite good. However, I wish the trailer was like a millimeter taller, because as it stands in the back, I'm sure you've seen other people complaining about this in reviews, but the back is both too thin and too short for a lot of other Transformers, especially within Earthrise and Kingdom. It fits the smaller cars like Bumblebee and Cliffjumper fit in here, but the larger ones don't, which I know is something that a lot of people maybe care about. But that said, Optimus or Battle Convoy originally was always just a truck and trailer, and it was always Ultra Magnus who would be carrying people about in the car mode, and we can talk about that in his review, which will be coming up at some stage. I have the Kingdom one. So in terms of car carrying capacity, that's really my only complaint. But even then, is it a complaint because it doesn't really matter, I guess? I quite like, other people have complained about that, like, this range of motion isn't great, but I don't mind it, honestly. Like, yeah, you're not going to be able to jackknife and park it accurately, but I don't know, it's quite good. And I do enjoy you can lie flat, and he's quite good. Aesthetically, it's good as well. I know, again, a lot of people complaining about how hollow this part is, but it's not bad, I suppose. Yes, there's the kits that fill it in, and you can fill it in, you can make it better, but for what it is, just out of the box, it's okay. It's not my favourite alt mode, so I think for this, I'm going to have to give it 6 out of 10, just because there's not that much that you can do apart from just he's a truck and that's so sorry for the edit there, I just had to reread my notes just in case I missed anything. So yeah, 6 out of 10. I'm like, I'm happy enough with that. The other thing I will say is just generally before we turn to transform him into the robot mode, I think that this compared to the Siege mode, I recently sold my Siege Optimus Prime because I have the Nemesis one and I didn't really need both. I think this one is cooler than the Siege one, but the Bumblebee movie one is cooler than this. So this is like in the middle between the two. I forgot to transform the other ones into the truck mode, but for bot mode we'll be able to compare them, but you know what I mean. So yes, I will get on to transforming him then and be back in a moment. So we're back here again and have Optimus in robot mode. Sorry if the focus is still, and by the way, sorry if there's any background noise. It's quite rainy here in Ireland today, as always, so there might be some window noise. So, on to number 3 then. I think this Optimus is an Adonis of a bot. Like, he is just so stoic and just has the ultimate, like, dad vibes of just, like, being, like, strong but not scary, you know, because, like, other ones can be, like, intimidating. He looks like he can hold himself in a fight but doesn't necessarily need to look threatening at all. Do you know what I mean? He's just gorgeous. So I think in terms of a score, I would want to give him an 8 out of 10 because he is very, like a good size for the Voyager size. Well, the price point, will come to that later. Well, but yes, he is very cool. And if I just stand him here for a second, I can show you the other two that I have. So there is, of course, the Siege version, and like I said previously, this is just the Nemesis version because I wanted it, and it's very pretty. And teal and red are two of my favourite colours, especially together, and I am absolutely blown away with how beautiful this one looks. But anyway, he will be a review on his own separately at some point. Sorry if I'm speaking too quickly, by the way. I just I feel like the last couple of videos that I've done were a wee bit longer than they needed to be, so I'm trying to keep it tight, keep it together. So I'm not going to go into detail about the specific differences between these two because a lot of people have done videos on it before. I don't want to just, you know, like go over already well-trodden ground, but just for anybody who wants to see them together. And like I said, I think that in truck mode, this one's definitely cooler, but I feel like in bot mode, this one maybe clinches it. It may be the colours because I am quite biased. I'm also quite a fan of how the wheels tuck away. I know that this is more, like he looks more like he turns into a truck, but something about the way the wheels just tuck in there is just quite charming, I think. That said, the backpack and the arm crap on this one is a bit much. Like, you know, compared to this one who has nothing apart from his wheel cheeks. Yeah, so overall, well, I think they're just going for different vibes, you know. The one that I find most interesting to compare to is the Bumblebee movie one. And where did I set him? I'm an idiot. Hang on. Here we go. And surprise, surprise, it's a KO one. Because screw any chance of getting the real one, the Studio Series one, because it's just a piss take price now. And I wanted the Nemesis one anyway, because it's cooler. Don't at me. So yes, comparing these two, I suppose again, like there's not much you can say truly because they're going for different vibes, but again, I just wanted to show in case anybody wanted to see that. And sorry that the light's a bit rubbish in here today. It's because again, it's quite wet, overcast day, so there's not that much natural light. When I can afford to, I will definitely be getting my own lights for doing this, so hopefully that will improve things. But for now, yes, here is the Bumblebee movie IOE mech, I think this one is, IOE mech. Stickers, my own, but again, maybe at some point in the future he will get his own review. but I just wanted to show them together anyway. And we can do a quick, if I can get them all standing, probably not, because my seat is not flat, but there's a quick side by side in case you wanted to see them standing together. So there's that. On to the next aspect then would be the play aspects of the robot mode. Oh sorry, for number 3, yeah, I wanted to give him an 8 out of 10 because he's just gorgeous. Again, just in terms of personal preference, not the coolest robot ever. I do find I'm definitely more of a Decepticon person myself, so the colours of just red, white and blue are a bit meh. But he is badass, he is cool, definitely 8 out of 10 for him. So moving on to number 4 then. I think, again, like I don't want to go through every single joint and pose and stuff because inevitably I'll forget one, and then also, like I said before, everybody else has already done that, so I'm not going to waste time doing that. But his posability is great, his range is great. I absolutely love the hands are my favourite part. I didn't realise until I got him and then some other ones like Masterpiece ones how important, like how much of a difference having opening hands makes, because he just is so much more emotive, you know, like he just looks so much more dramatic with opening hands rather than just the fist thing, you know. And that's not fucking like white power thing, by the way, that's just me copying the hand thing before anybody comes at me, because we've had problems with that in bot posting. But anyway, this isn't a tease billing session. Combat ports, in terms of other playability, he is riddled with them, and it is amazing. Like all the blast effects, you can plug up his feet, up his butt, up his whatever, you know. He's just fun like that. I think the backpack is quite fun because you can add, and this is maybe spoiling for later, but I quite like to add and this will make the G1 fans cry a bit, but I quite think it looks like, I know this is a little repair mech thing, but it looks quite like a backpack. And I think it looks quite cute like that, you know, so you can have a backpack flying about, whatever. I might insert some pictures in here if I remember to, I might not remember or be bothered to, but anyway, yep, of some poses and stuff. But there is his bot mode, and I would give that easily 9 out of 10 for playability, posability. He's just a fantastic action figure. Even if you take out my own gripes and grievances, just personal preferences about, you know, things like colour scheme and everything like that, he is undoubtedly a better figure than the other two primes in terms of posability, because I don't even know if it's so much the range as just like he just feels nicer in an unquantifiable way. I don't know. But anyway, back a little bit to talking about the transformation, and again, to save a bit of time and stuff, I don't want to go through the whole transformation. Other people on YouTube have detailed transformation steps on this chap, so I'm not going to go through that, but I will say his transformation is good, but I am scared of it, because particularly I've seen people's hinge here crack, and this part, not so much when it's in this mode, like this part's fine, but it's these little flaps, like when it's in truck mode, these parts just feel like they're trying to pop out and explode, you know. And I've went through and sort of shaved down some of the tabs a little to make it, especially here, like these sections that line up with the chest on the top there, like originally, his arm's in the way, sorry. Originally it was sitting quite high like this, so that there was stress, but I managed to, sorry the focus keeps going on to that background thing, I shaved a little bit down to sort of relieve some of the stress there, so that when it's all tied together it's not trying to blow itself to bits, because that's what it felt like, and I never like when toys do that. So yes, a bit scary, a bit fragile maybe perhaps, compared to the Siege Prime though. The Siege Prime has similar issues in terms of like the truck mode cab section. Those panels just feel like they're going to pop, and a lot of them have white stress marks and stuff already. They're the fit and finish. It's like, it's a great idea, just not a great execution. That said though, my Nemesis one is much better than the Optimus that I had for the Siege mold. I don't know whether they've addressed the tolerances or whether I just got luckier with QC or something, but it seems to hold itself together much less terrifyingly. Like, there's less pressure when it's sitting like that. So what else can we talk about? Just having a quick look. I think, yeah, so in terms of, like I said, transformation being split into both ease and fun, I would say out of 5 for ease, I would say he gets about 3 out of 5, because it is quite easy, it's quite simple, it's quite smart, but it's not like, I just had to be middle of the road because I don't know where else to put him, do you know what I mean? And in terms of like fun, I would honestly give him a 2 out of 5 because of those stress issues. It's like, I don't know if it's just mine or just inherent flaw with the way that they've done it, but there's just, it's not difficult, it's just not fun. In terms of like, I like to pick him up and fiddle about as a toy in either mode, but I don't like to transform him too much just because of that, because I feel like, oh, this is going to be the time that that tab breaks or that thing breaks, you know, and I don't like to leave him in truck mode because of that, because I'm worried that if I leave him in truck mode, I'll just come back and then he'll just be like, you know, so there's that. And then, so that's 5 out of 10 in total for that. Number 6, Fiddleability. I think his feet in particular are important to this, the way he has like a heel and a toe pose ability. So that means he can hold poses so well, and this deep knee bend is fabulous. In terms of his size, yes, he's a perfect size for an Optimus Prime in terms of like the collection, and he's fun to play with because he's not too big, the way that, you know, like a Masterpiece Prime would be massive. So yes, his posability makes him very fiddleable. He's a good size in both modes, but the trailer, I think, like a lot of people have complained, you need room for it and stuff. So storage may be an issue, but that's not really a fiddleable issue. In terms of like pure fiddleability, like I said, like he's more fun than like a larger one, but he's definitely not as, like, I don't reach for this one as much as I reach for the Kingdom core class one, because that's like, pocket toys are always going to win in this category just because of that. But anyway, I think his fragility in terms of the truck mode and the transformation lower his score quite a bit for fiddleability, because yes, he is fun, but I don't find myself reaching for him because of that annoyance of the fragility. That said, he gets 7 out of 10, again, sort of middle of the road, slightly higher than middle of the road, just because of that. Okay, so next thing we'll move on to is interplayability, and I've already talked about it slightly with the ports all over. He is great, he can plug anything in, anywhere, and he's very highly scoring in this. I will go into further detail on this on other reviews, but just again to sort of get this one out and out of the way, I just want to sort of pass through, but just in general, because he fits in the Siege, Earthrise, Kingdom, War for Cybertron, sorry I forgot the name of it, the War for Cybertron gimmick of having just loads of holes all over him to do anything with. I'm giving him a 9 out of 10 just because of that. Like literally the only reason he's not getting 10 out of 10 is because of the trailer size space that I mentioned earlier, you know, like not being able to fit. Like if this was slightly larger, I think it would get better. And then actually, while I'm talking about the trailer, one thing that does annoy me, right, you've got these ports, which are cool because you can put guns, but they're too close to the wall, so it's like, hang on, where's this gun? It's like you can't, you know, it doesn't fit without stressing the thing because it's too close to the wall. And I don't understand why, because like that one's fine, but these two and the two on that side are too close to the wall, so it sort of limits you in what you can do. Like if they were moved in here or something, or even if you had more ports on the bottom, because you only have this little like roller insertion part and this part which attaches to the backpack part. But yeah, like I wish he had more, or well, not more necessarily because the amount is fine, but just like I wish these were moved over because it's just stupid. I don't know. But this brings us on to the accessories, and of course Optimus himself, just as his own thing, has space for lighting the darkest hour with the matrix. Just slide that in there, set him down again. He has the aforementioned blaster, which I quite like, that folds up because then it stores nicely on his backpack. Looks nice. I can't tell whether I like this one or the Siege one better. They're both cool in their own way because they're going for like the different vibe. But yeah, it's awesome. A very nice blaster. And I appreciate the side peg for storage. And then he has the trailer, as I mentioned before. Might as well show you that. And as part of the trailer, there is of course this flap, which can attach to stuff for reasons, and has a hole that can attach to stuff for reasons. I understand why they did this, but I would have rather had ruler instead of this. But anyway, also then we have his little repair drone, which, like I said, can just, you know, I quite like using it as like a backpack thing just to annoy the G1ers. Guess they're like, oh, what are you doing? But it's fun, like it's a toy, it's supposed to be fun. And of course it can be here in, oops, you know, and you can repair dudes and whatever. And this actually brings me on to something which isn't an accessory that comes with Prime, but I think works very well with Prime, specifically because of the colours. So this is not as much this part, Rain Dance, his name, I think. Rain Dance and Grand Slam. The two that came with the G2 Sideswipe set. I can't remember what that's called, but anyway. I think that this works quite well as like a stand-in for roller because it fits nicely and the colours are quite complementary of Prime. You know, both of them are. And I also find it quite cute that this, hang on, I'll just, wait, just close that up. You know, instead of having roller or huffer or something, like you can tow the trailer along with this into the pocket dimension, as they say. So it's interesting. It's something that I just wanted to just quickly show because I think that it's quite interesting. And again, then you can use this as like a landing pad or something for the jet because it's kind of like a Harrier ship. I don't know. I'm just talking rubbish at this point. But anyway, so for accessories, I think he would get higher if he had roller, don't get me wrong, so I have to give him a 7 just because of that, because it feels like there's like the DLC element of it that I don't really like that much. Sorry for that quick jump there. I had memory issues in the phone and then the lights go on again, so I'll just wrap this up quite quickly. So we've had, so far it's been quite good for Earthrise Optimus Prime. Now we're going to talk about the value, and this gets sort of a bit complicated because as a Voyager toy he would be brilliant for 25 quid. So like comparing him to the Siege one, I know this is the big pack one, so that's not a fair comparison, but the Siege one, you just got the Prime, the gun and the axe that he came with for the 25 or 30, whatever it was, and that's quite good value. This one, yes, has more stuff, but not quite enough for me to justify it fully, so that's why I was happy to get this guy on sale for about 45 instead of 50, because it just clinched it for me, like having the little missing bits, like no roller, and just like, it was just slightly, it was just almost perfect to the point that it was frustrating. But anyway, and other people have complained about certain aspects of like the colours maybe feels cheaper or something in other versions. However, so compared to other leader classes, I will say he's not the best, because I feel like other ones like Double Dealer or Shockwave are better leader class toys, and Ultra Magnus especially, because it's like you get the core robot and then the trailer becomes the Ultra Magnus, and that feels more value. And even Shockwave, people give off about Shockwave at the time, but I feel like in retrospect Shockwave got quite a bad rap, and because his big spaceship mode is bloody awesome. But anyway, an interesting thing about this mold is that you can get it for cheaper, because there was a Netflix set that had this Prime, blaster and two, what do you call them now? Battle Masters? Is that what they're calling them? I can't remember. And that was only like 40 or something, so that is maybe better value for people. Like, and I know it's just like the trailer is a bit like hit and miss. You either love the trailer or you hate it, because it takes up a lot of room and it doesn't really do as much as you want it to. That's fair enough. But if you just want Prime on his own with two little Battle Masters as friends, then you can get that Netflix set, and that might work out better value for you. Or if you just want a Prime and you don't care that it's this one, then you can go for the Siege one, which is again like the Voyager price point. Although I will say I quite enjoy the bargain that I got for, just when we're talking about comparing values, this one plus the, sorry, I'll just move all this crap out of the way because there's too much happening now. I should have thought of this. So this was the spoiler pack, the Netflix spoiler pack, Nemesis Prime. And so he came with himself, the blaster, the trailer, but then all this crap inside, like two swords, a battle master, and two big guns that he can't really hold, and then like energon cubes for whatever reason. Fair enough. Yeah, I'm just gonna actually turn the light on here. Let's see if this works. Oh my god, that works so much better. Should I redo the whole video at this point? No, I'm too close to the end to be bothered with that. But anyway, I'll remember this next time. Apologies. If you get this far, thank you for bearing with me. But yeah, so the Nemesis one comes with all this crap, and as well the drone thing. And at the retail price that this was, it was not good value. But for 40 quid, which it's still on sale in Smith's, by the way, 40 quid for this set, definitely 100% worth checking it out. So if you want A Prime and all that crap, and it doesn't have to be Optimus Prime, it just has to be A Prime, then you can do that, and that's cool. So, wait, what? When did you get here?
I'm here because nobody cares about Earthrise Optimus Prime. I'm just here to make the video a bit interesting. I don't know why I have such a posh voice. I didn't think of an accent before putting on this part of the sketch.
But anyway, so that's the value aspect of Earthrise Optimus Prime. I think he will be outclassed completely by the upcoming Laser Prime, which will be much better value for the price point. But anyway, as it stands, I have to give him a 6. Or 6.5, maybe. No, 6 out of 10 for value, because he is a great toy, just not for 50 quid. I think you could do better with your money for that, but he is brilliant on his own. Which leaves us to the last point, representation of the character. Now, I know a lot of people will be like, oh, it's not very G1 toy accurate or G1 cartoon accurate. I don't care, okay? I'm here for the wholesome dad vibes of Cartoon Prime, the badassness of Toy Prime, and this toy cases it perfectly. He looks like the perfect, like, the cool uncle that you would want to play catch with, the protector of the Earthlings and all of humanity, and he is cute and handsome and just absolutely exactly what I want from a Optimus Prime. So even if it's not technically, objectively the best Optimus Prime, it is definitely an Optimus Prime, and he would get absolutely 10 out of 10 for that, because he looks like he would flip the best burgers at the family get-together, hands down, and he would look amazing with a Hawaiian shirt and cargo pants. But anyway, so that's that, 10 out of 10 for that, which means that the ultimate score is, if I can find my sheet, no, I've lost it, oh no, okay, we have 74 out of 100. So just to wrap up, folks, I'm losing the light here, but so I can't remember what part I left off at, because again I had to cut because I was interrupted. But so for as you can see on the thing in front, the alt mode presence, sorry, I can't read my own writing, I thought that said pressure. Presence and aesthetic, I'm giving him 7. Alt mode playability 6. Bot mode, presence, aesthetic 8, and so on. You know, you can read. I know that you're not stupid. You can. This is a terrible video. I apologize, but I just needed to get it out of the way. And every video after this can be better. You know, look at the state of this place now. Whoops, terrible. But anyway, just as a little finale, sort of. I wanted to reintroduce my concept for the series, which is that after every episode, there will be a teaser towards the next. So, next video is going to be related to bunny ears, purple, queer. Those are the 3 like riddle phrases that I'm going to throw out for the next view, and if you can guess which character that refers to, then leave a comment down below, and I'll see you next time.